Hello, this is Peter Hall, resident of the Mountain Republic of Northwest United States and Southern British Columbia. I'm just going to talk a little bit about some of the problems people talk about across the U.S. and across the world about the conflicts that we find. Well, all of this conflict all starts with religion. And religion has caused so much death and destruction across the world that it is absolutely insane. People point to religion as something that brings people together and creates peace and harmony, but it can also create exactly the opposite. And that's because of the focus on doctrine and dogma. Religion, and I'm not talking, when I talk about religion, I don't talk about God. God has nothing to do with religion. Religion is about the doctrine and the dogma, the rules and the regulations. And that, although it can bring people together, but it also divides people and creates great conflict because who determines what that doctrine and dogma is? It all comes from somebody who comes along and says, yeah, I was just talking to God the other day, and he said you need to do this. Yeah, yeah. It wasn't me. It's not me talking. No, it's God. Well, they're lying to you. It's them. But what you need to do is rather than listen to them based upon just taking their word for it, look to logic and reason and look to the thing that God truly gave you to guide your life, and that is your brain. Your God gave you a brain to think with, to use logic and reason. I mean, that's why you have someone like Thomas Paine, who was one of our founders, who saw Christians as the true atheists because they deny the reality of the world that God has created. While somebody like himself, who was more of a deist, says, I just embrace the reality of the world and I want to find out what that reality truly is. Now, a person can actually be an atheist and be more religious even than maybe some Christians by tacking into a political or social dogma that basically just they say, I want this to be true, therefore it is, or I don't want that to be true, therefore it's not. And you have to move past that. And one of the worst religions out there that I know of is the Big Bang religion. The idea that the universe has a beginning. It is utter nonsense. The universe is expanding and contracting at the same time in an infinite feedback loop. It's the only way it works. What you have is you have waves of dark, I call dark energy that come out from the center of the universe. There is a center to the universe, just as there is center to a galaxy, center to a solar system. Everything you have in the universe is built on a smaller scale, bigger scale to where you get to the universe. It is all sort of it's all based on the same kind of system. So the universe has a center. Out of that center, you have waves of energy, if you want to call it that, of two-dimensional existence. And these waves come out in the same way like you have the electromagnetic fields that you have like in a planet. It's not the same thing, but metaphorically, you can kind of look at it and get an idea of what it looks like. So then they crash in together, and then that crashing together creates so much tension that eventually, boom, you get a bang. And then you get matter created and you get a little spin. So we have a spin in one direction, a spin in the other direction. One is matter, one is antimatter, and you have different universes. They collide, and with that bang, it goes out, and it can actually come into contact and collide with some of the matter and things that were there before and are actually heading back towards the center of the universe because there's that pullback. So you have a push and a pull in the universe. And you could that's why these people are looking out and they say, now why is there an old galaxy next to a new galaxy? Well, that's because you have different times when you have bangs. So you have multiple bangs across the universe at different times based upon the tension of this coming together. Then it goes out, and it only goes out so far before the energy basically dissipates. Without the energy, boom, it all comes back into singularity. It all comes back, and then wham, it just gets pulled back into the center of the universe where it all gets spit out again. So you have this constant cycle. That's how it works. Cycles work. You have, and it's basically a basic binary system of basically expansion contraction. This is why we have there's no creation without destruction. We have negative positive. How do we have our computer systems? Yes, no, 1 0 1 0. Everything is based on the binary system. So the universe is a binary system. That is how we have existence itself. There is no existence without the way this put together. And there cannot be a beginning. That's all there is to it. There can't be a beginning. It simply is, and people have to understand that.